Could a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade still be coming? We're going to break that down on today's show as Shams Charania, ESPN's lead NBA insider, had some big-time information to talk about on their program. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Let's just dive into it. Shams said this early this morning. Sources tell me there's still nothing set in stone about whether Giannis Antetokounmpo will stay in Milwaukee or whether he will be leaving. There's been some very real conversations over the last week or so. The constant question that Giannis has thought is, quote, can I win a championship with this roster? Is this roster going to be one for this upcoming year in 2026-2027? He's asking that question over and over. And I'll just give you the answer, Giannis. That Bucks roster is not winning a championship this year. Shams also made it clear multiple teams are waiting in the wings on a decision from the Greek Freak. A lot of people thought, myself included, that with the Knicks having Mikal Bridges put pen to paper to sign that extension, the Knicks were no longer interested because they could not trade Bridges for the next 6 months, and Milwaukee would most likely want Bridges in return. I no longer think that the door for the Knicks and Giannis is closed, because if Giannis tells the Bucks today that he wants to be traded, the Knicks are going to put together a very competitive offer to get it done. There are still other talented players on this team that they could send to Milwaukee. Giannis is currently in offseason mode and currently in Greece for Eurobasket. So staying in shape, trying to get ready for the season. Who knows what he thinks at this point, but Shams adding some color to the picture that some intense conversations have gone down over the last couple of weeks as we get closer and closer to the NBA season starting. I think we're less than 60 days away from the NBA getting kicked back up, and we know training camp will be here sooner rather than later. When it comes to Giannis, I really don't have to say much. In my opinion, he is the second best player in the NBA right now, and I don't really see that changing unless the Oklahoma City Thunder go back-to-back. I got Jokic, best player in the world, and then Giannis right after him. So, yes, of course, if I was Leon Rose, if I was running the New York Knicks, and Giannis told the Bucks that he wants to be traded, I would be calling them very frequently trying to get a deal done. As we know, when you discuss player movement and trades now in 2025, you got to talk financials. Shout out to the new CBA, the one that has killed the NBA offseason. Giannis is making $54.1 million this year. So the Knicks would have to get extremely close to that number to get it done. And they would have to find a way to make the trade package sweet enough to the Bucks without Mikal Bridges, because he signed a 4-year, $150 million extension. I believe that was on Thursday of Friday of last week. We all thought that the Knicks would hold out on signing Bridges until they got final word of Giannis, and maybe they heard some stuff through the back channels that Giannis was going to be a Buck this year. Maybe not. I don't know. Without Bridges, though, going in the deal, there is still a competitive offer the Knicks could put together, one that probably involves a guy like OG Anunoby, also probably Mitchell Robinson going to Milwaukee. And they have a couple of first-round picks that they could include. So you got to get to that $54.1 million number. Maybe it's Karl Anthony Towns going to Milwaukee. But I would believe it's more likely OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson, which gets you right at about that $54.1 million number. They would probably want Miles McBride as well, a cheap young salary for a player that is ascending, and there would be some picks going as well. Look, the Knicks were 2 wins away from getting to the NBA Finals. They put together a pretty good roster this offseason, adding Guerschon Yabusele in free agency as well as Jordan Clarkson. Do they have enough to win the title this year? We're going to have to see the games unfold for us to get a clear answer on that, but I believe they have just as good as a roster as anybody in the Eastern Conference. So I would completely understand why anyone would say no, the Knicks should not go all in for Giannis. I'll open up the comment section right now for all the real ones to sound off. Do you, or should the Knicks, we'll frame it like that, should they go all in for Giannis? Type Y for yes, type N for no, assuming he does request a trade. My answer is going to be yes. Every single time. When the second best player in the NBA becomes available and you're a contender, you should be doing whatever it takes to try to get a deal done. I have some more thoughts on this. We'll break that down in a second, but get your Jalen Brunson jersey today. Chatsports.com/Brunson sale. These jerseys are on sale. The deal will not last forever, and you got to be ready to go for game 1 of 82, which is about 58 days away. Chatsports.com/Brunson sale. I'll make sure that link is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. While I do believe, and have said on today's video, that the Knicks could put a competitive offer together, they most likely would need some help from Giannis, where Giannis tells the Bucks, I don't want to play here anymore, and I want to go play in New York. And I think the Bucks would owe Giannis that, where he's won them a championship. He put them back on the map. The Bucks were relevant there for a good 6-year stretch, and they would, in my opinion, have to do right by Giannis, because if they don't do right by Giannis, good luck getting any other star or superstars to want to come play in Milwaukee. So if Giannis tells the Bucks, I want to be traded, I'm not playing here anymore, and my list has the New York Knicks at the top, then yes, you get that deal done, and I think that's probably the only real avenue it happens due to the lack of first-round picks the Knicks have. They sent all those in the Mikal Bridges trade, and maybe not the best player offer going. I still think it would be a strong offer. I'm not sure it would be the best in the NBA. At the end of the day, it's all just chatter from Shams and ESPN and all the insiders across the association. I still believe that Giannis is going to be a Buck this year. Now, if the Bucks stink, which I think they're going to be rather bad, this time next year we could see him in another jersey. Like, is Giannis really believing? And I don't care what the Milwaukee Bucks front office says. Giannis is a smart guy. He's won a championship. He knows what it takes to win 16 games in the playoffs. I'm sorry, and no disrespect here, a starting lineup of Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., Kyle Kuzma, and Miles Turner is not good enough around Giannis. And Giannis could maybe even have the best season that he's had in his career. That is still a play-in, first-round exit type of team. Andre Jackson Jr., Gary Harris, A.J. Green, Chris Livingston, Tyler Smith, Taurean Prince, Bobby Portis, and Jericho Sims. That is simply not going to win you an NBA championship in 2025. And I think Giannis knows that, because if you have to ask a question multiple times and the answer they're giving you over and over again still isn't clicking in your head, it's because it's not true. That team's not winning a championship. And in my opinion, Giannis is wasting his window in the prime years of his career to add championship number 2 to his resume if he stays with the Milwaukee Bucks. Because don't forget, they're still paying Damian Lillard $20 million this year, the year after that, the year after that, the year after that, and the year after that, all to not be on the team. So you're supposed to build a contender around Giannis while also having a $20 million dead cap charge on your roster. Good luck with that. Giannis, it's on you at this point. You've got to answer the question. Who do you want to be? Do you want to try to go win another NBA title? Do you want to chase the chances of being a top 5, top 10, top 15 player of all time? Or do you just want to be a Milwaukee Bucks legend that won one championship? And that's a hell of a career. You will be in the talks of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson as some of the best people to ever put on a Milwaukee Bucks jersey. But I do think, and like this is even crazy to say, Giannis only having one ring in his NBA career after winning his first one when he was still 25, 26 years old is a little bit of a disappointment. When you bring it back to the Knicks, why they should do it, it's because talent wins in the NBA. And if you could form a 1-2 punch of Jalen Brunson and Giannis, you could win any game, any series, no matter who the opponent is. That would be the best duo in the NBA, in my opinion. I think Brunson is the second best player in the Eastern Conference right now, and I have Giannis as the first. And if you could put those two guys together on the same team, I think you do it every day of the week. If you want to see Giannis play for the Knicks before he hangs it up, hit that thumbs up icon. Let's speak it into existence and show some love to the channel. If you want more New York Knicks coverage on other social media platforms, give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram, same handle, @MarshallGreen_.